What's happening, people? Welcome back. This is everyone's a pundit. This is episode 87, and we've got some new faces to the pundits panel today. So it's an honor to have them both, and we're gonna bring you another great show, man. Let me first introduce the guests, or let them introduce themselves. Can you please start, Mr. Liverpool, please?
Yeah, hi guys, how you doing? I'm Ben. I'm a Liverpool fan. Obviously a big win yesterday, and yeah, some Arsenal fans are going to get cooked. I'm sure Patrick's going to join me in that as well. So
Yes.
yeah, that's me. That's me.
Oh gosh, yeah, this is going to be entertaining. It looks like Pat has brought his backup today. He's recruited his backup, and Souls is here. He's here repping the Arsenal. Introduce yourself, please.
Yes, I'm Gunnar Souls. Obviously, as the name suggests, I'm an Arsenal fan. Not a great day yesterday, but we move on. You know, it is what it is. We've won 10 on the bounce, and yes, it's one very bad result. But let's see how we bounce back. I'm here to defend the club. Let's get it on, really.
Wicked, wicked. Don't worry, we're gonna get into it all. We're gonna discuss it. We're gonna get into it and dissect it. Souls, you're gonna have your say. And Mr. Patrick, let them know.
Yes, what's happening, people? It's your boy Patrick Tyrant, aka Young Swaggy Daniels. When you see the T, you see the P. When you see the P, it represents T. Let's go.
Let's go, people. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. And I'm Semps. I'm your host for today. If you're new to the channel, if this is your first time here, please give us a subscribe. Hit the like button as well, please, people, because that will help the channel grow. And those of you listening on the audio, please share about with your peoples. And yeah, man, we're going to bring you a great show today. If we just run through the Premier League results from this weekend so far, we had Leicester host Chelsea. They lost 3-0 at home to Chelsea. Aston Villa beat Brighton 2-0. And then we had some high-scoring. There was a lot of high-scoring games yesterday, man. Burnley 3, Crystal Palace 3, Newcastle 3, Brentford 3. And Norwich got another win, 2-1 at home to Southampton. And the big one there, Watford 4, Manchester United 1. Wolves 1, West Ham 0. And then another big one, Liverpool 4, Arsenal 0. Moved on to today, Man City played at home against Everton and they beat them 3-0. Comfortable win for them. And Tottenham, not so comfortable, but they did get the win 2-1 against Leeds. We are going to start today with Liverpool against Arsenal. That's going to be the first game that we're going to discuss. We will shortly move on to Tottenham versus Leeds. And of course, we need to discuss Watford 4, Manchester United 1, and Ole Gunnar Solskjaer being sacked today. But let's start with the Liverpool game. Ben, how was it? How did you feel you performed?
So obviously, like going into the game, there was the international break we had to deal with, and it wasn't a great break for us. A few players came back injured. We didn't really know what the midfield was going to be going into the game. And yeah, obviously Arsenal had been in really good form whilst we'd drawn to Brighton and then lost to West Ham. So the break kind of came at the right time for us in the sense that it kind of broke it up a bit. But then again, I guess, you know, going straight into that Arsenal game might have been a good thing as well. I'm not sure. But yeah, look, so I was on Twitter and I was on Spaces. And the day before the game, and I know this isn't all Arsenal fans, you can't paint these guys all with the same brush. And every single fan's got ridiculous fans. But people were trying to tell me, right, that six of their players get into the combined 11. And I was like, okay, I don't know what you're basing this on. And they were saying form. So I was like, okay, so you're basing this on 3 games. So you've won loads of games, yeah, but before the last 3 games, I think they got back-to-back draws, which in my eyes isn't, you know, it's not great form. And I was like, so you're basing this on a few games out of like 17 games that have been played. So they were saying Ramsdale gets in over Alisson. He was unreal yesterday, by the way. If it wasn't for him, it would have been 6-7. He made some very, very good saves in the first half. They said the left back Tavares gets in. He gifted us a goal. Gabriel gets in. They're saying Gabriel's better than Matip. They were saying Lokonga, Partey all get in, or Aubameyang. And it's like, look, just because we struggled in the last couple of games, right? We didn't turn into a bad team overnight. And deep down, like, I was listening to these Arsenal fans thinking, like, these guys are so confident. So let me switch up my mentality. I'm gonna have to be confident now. So I was like, you know what? You boys are gonna come to Anfield and you're gonna get a humbling. You're gonna get the biggest humbling of your life. And they were like, no, we're not. This is different. This is a new Arsenal. This is a new era. All this nonsense. Arsenal. And I'm like, what do you mean? Like, this is Liverpool. We haven't lost a game with Virgil van Dijk starting ever since he signed. 64 games, not lost a game. With the fans back, the last time we lost with the fans was 2017. So what makes you guys think you're going to come here and beat us? Yes, we drew to Brighton. Okay, whatever. Brighton, I think, are a much harder team to play than Arsenal. That's genuinely how I feel. But at the end of the day, the game went how I expected it to. I thought we were going to win. I didn't think we were going to batter them the way we did. I think they just kind of fell apart in the second half. But at the end of the day, it's just same old Arsenal. They beat Watford, who was 17th, Leicester, who were 12th, Spurs were 11th at the time, Villa, who were 16th, Norwich were 20th, and Burnley were 18th. And now all of a sudden, they're the best team in the world. So, for my opinion, it is what it is. Arsenal aren't competing with us. They're going to be competing for 4th, 5th, or 6th. And I'm not saying anything to my friend here because I don't know what his view is, but a lot of those Arsenal fans, I think, will realise now that, okay, we aren't that level, but they'll still be all right for 4th or 5th, I think, or 6th, that kind of battle.
Wicked. Shout out to Mimi TV. Yes, don't worry, I will give you all of your flowers coming up shortly when we discuss that game.
Shout out to Watford.
Man.
Watford.
You know what? Shout out to what we're not going to talk about Watford yet. We're getting on to them. Van Dijk was doing no look passes. It was easy. Dan United TV says, big up Dan, always in the comments. Big up everybody else in the comments. Sauls, you heard what Ben had to say there about Arsenal fans. Obviously, he said he doesn't know what you're like. I don't know what you're like either. This is the first time we're connecting. I've had my fair share of saying stuff about Arsenal fans. What was your thoughts going into the game, and then how did you believe that you lot performed? And
I'll be honest, I was hopeful. If anything, I went into it with a bit of optimism. I thought, if any time, this is probably going to be the best time to beat Liverpool because they've got exclusions or players coming back into the team, which does help. Obviously, Fabinho, for example, was injured. Obviously, I know he played against West Ham, but then I think that was his only game back. So that can always be a match sharpness issue there. But obviously, no worries there. He played absolutely amazing. And the thing is, this was a real test for us to see how far we are away from competing for the league or competing against the top 3. Going into this season, I didn't expect to beat City. I don't expect to beat Liverpool. And obviously, we're not really competing with Chelsea, but I still expect to get a result against them. And to be honest with you, Liverpool are far ahead. No top 6 team has beaten them since 2016 at Anfield. So it's a real test to go there and actually beat them. Did I expect us to crumble the way we did? I was hoping that didn't happen this time. And maybe a 1 or a 2-0 loss or a 2-1 where we kind of fight for the result. But I feel like once that first goal went in, it just went capitulation. Everything went wrong. We started making the same errors that we did under Wenger, under Emery, and that was the disappointment for me. And I think we had a solid 30 minutes, but it's not about 30 minutes. It's about how you do over 90. And we did capitulate. And I felt the argument between Klopp and Arteta really got the Anfield riled up again. And that was the worst thing to happen because I'm not going to lie. I don't know what Ben's thoughts were, but I felt the Anfield was quiet. And I felt for the first 30 minutes, I'm not going to say they were nervy, but they were like, okay, this team is different. There's something about them this time. But then as soon as that happened, it switched them as well. And they were back on it. And as soon as Anfield starts making noise, it's arguably the most hostile stadium to play in England. And that's exactly what happened. The noise went up. Like, it was a different game after that. And I felt the players didn't back Arteta's fight, but Klopp got the players riled up and they backed his fight. Because before that, I felt we could have nicked it. I felt we could have got a result out of that. But after that, I was like, shit, yeah, this is fucked. Now we're done. And that's exactly what happened. And the thing is, it's one result, I don't think it defines our season. I still think our projections are the same. Top 6, top 4. I'm more in the top 6 boat than I am in the top 4 boat. I think 5th, 6th is probably where we're going to sit this season. And that's the way I've always viewed it. And I thought, yeah, if we get a result against Liverpool, brilliant. But will it then cloud our judgment on how far we've really taken this project? Imagine, let's say we lost 1-0. Do the club now become complacent and go, actually, do we need that midfielder in January? Do we need that striker in January? Because we've been competing. So I felt it's a bad result that could become a good thing because it wakes us up and actually gives us the humbling we needed. So yeah, I think there's 2 ways to take it. Disappointing is probably the word I'd say.
And I just interject because obviously it was me that brought on Guno and Ben. And to be fair to Guno, he's not been, I say Guno, his name's Guno Souls. He's not been hyping. He's not been one of the gassed up ones we know, Semps. We know a lot of Arsenal fans that have been really giving it. Souls isn't like that. As you can hear from how he projects himself and how he talks, he's an articulate and a well-rounded Arsenal fan. So to be fair, everything he said was spot on, man. And yeah, first 30 minutes when I watched the game, I was quite worried. I can't lie. As a Tottenham fan watching it, I was worried for Liverpool and Ben. I was thinking, fuck, Arsenal are actually in this game. And they look like they're going toe-to-toe with Liverpool. But then, like you said, once Arteta and Klopp had their little kerfuffle on the sidelines, Liverpool just upped the gears. And then you saw Arsenal defenders starting to get nervy. You started to see the Gabriel that we saw at the beginning of last season. Tavares was awful in the second half. And he gave away. He pretty much was part of the 2 goals that Liverpool scored, and Liverpool just showed their levels. But to be fair, like I never thought Liverpool would lose that game. I always thought Liverpool would be the better team and get the result. But a lot of Arsenal fans were telling me, "Oh, you're not giving us the respect we deserve," and this and that. And you kind of saw, like, you know, Arsenal are not near the Chelseas, Liverpools, and Cities yet. But they have improved. I've got to give them their credit. They have improved, but there's still a long way to go.
Yeah, man. You know, I thought to myself, if this game wasn't at Anfield, if it was at the Emirates, then I think that I would have fancied Arsenal to get a result there. Not to say that they would go and win, but at least get a draw. As soon as I saw Anfield, I thought, nah. You know, Ben, how much, obviously, was this the first time I'm meeting you as well? How much do you think the, you know, no crowds at the parts of last season affected Liverpool season?
Massively. I think, you know, it's not, obviously Anfield's got a big reputation, but I think it's for a lot of teams as well from the Premier League. I mean, the example I always use is Sheffield United. They were like 7th or 8th for the majority of the season before, and then I think they finished around mid-table. And then the season, the fans get taken away. They're rock bottom, one of the worst Premier League teams ever. So it's like, for me, that's not a coincidence. I think, especially for us as well, I've been to Anfield a few times this season. I've been lucky to get tickets, but you can see when you're there, like how much of an influence we have on not just the players but Klopp. Like he thrives off us. You saw yesterday when we scored the first goal. Obviously, after the thing with Arteta, he turned around and gave it a bit to the fans. You know, he just loves that. He did the fist pumps at the end to the cop, and you know the fans are not just Liverpool, but the most important part of any club. The Tottenham fans I heard today were when I was watching it on the telly were up for it, especially when Conte was getting them all going. So for us, it was, of course, a mix of injuries and really bad luck. But Anfield, it's a big ground, and when it's empty and it's just soulless, and you know, who are you playing for, really? So it's good to have the fans back. And like Gunnar said, when that argument happened with Arteta, that was it. I think that was the downfall of Arsenal in that game. Just for a split second, you could see the fans were just backing the manager and the coaches, and the players were up for it, and the fans then became louder than ever before, because you were right, it was quite flat, and it's been like that a fair bit this season in those games where it's just a bit cagey. And then once it opens up, then you know we usually thrive with it. But yeah, definitely the fans play a huge part for sure.
Wicked. Sauls, do you think that you learned anything about Arsenal then in that game? Because as you said, if you'd have lost 1-0, it may have been looked at as progression. Funny enough, we're saying a 1-0 loss is progression, but it could have been looked at that. But do you think you learned anything? Because you have been on a good run. We can't deny there was some draws in there, but sometimes this happens. You've had some good wins. Where do you think it goes from here on out for Arsenal?
I think it confirms we need a midfielder, whether that's a partner for Partey or whether that's someone to come in for that similar role. I think obviously we're very young, and I know the next stage of this sort of rebuild is going to be bringing in. It's like what Liverpool did. The 2016 window, they brought in a bunch of players who had a name for themselves, but maybe weren't the biggest names. And then they brought in the Alisson and the Van Dijk to complete that sort of squad. You know, Mo Salah unproven, Sadio Mane unproven. They were good players. I'm not denying they're not good, but they were just one of those like, can they do it in the Premier League? You know, that sort of thing. And then they brought in the Van Dijk, and then they brought in the Alisson to complete it all. And I feel like that's the stage we're at. We're at that sort of pre-Van Dijk Alisson part where we need that additional two players to really bolster the squad and get them back to where they need to be. That whether that's a Basuma and, you know, a Lautaro Martinez type signing, whether that's, you know, Dominic Calvert-Lewin coming in, whoever that may be, you know, we know we need a striker or a focal point. We now know we need a midfielder to come in as a dominant, defensive-minded midfielder to get the best out of Partey. So I think that's where the answers are quite, like, you know, the questions are answered. And yes, we're a few signings away now. What have I learned? I felt we've been better. I know it's a 4-0 to say we've been better than we've been before, but I felt that's because the midfield didn't really support the defense. Our defensive unit is really good. Defensive structure, I felt, was good. It was no protection from sort of Tavares or the midfield. That's what let us down. So I felt there's questions that we had that got answered, and that's the positive, I guess, you take away from a very negative result. And yeah, I think we need to go in January and get that big midfielder in first, and then in the summer, go get that focal point who we're going to build the strike and the attack around.
Brilliant. Yeah, man. It'll be interesting to see where things go from here. Obviously, Liverpool are doing really good. You know, you had a little bit of a blip, Ben. It's a good convincing home win. Of just having a look, you've got Southampton next week. So you're at home as well. So you would imagine that you'll get a win there and just keep trying to put the pressure on Chelsea. At the start of the season,
bro, like we sorry,
go ahead.
We beat United 5-0. I don't know what's going on with the connection, if you can hear me at the same time, but obviously we beat United 5-0, and then obviously we're on top of the world, obviously, as you can imagine, after doing that, and then we just dropped after that. We obviously had a cup game in between, but you know, Brighton first 30 minutes was great, and then we tailed off. West Ham was just not acceptable at all. You know, we could have got a result there if we were a little bit better, but it wasn't great. So all I'm asking now for this team is to, you know, not get complacent with this, because on paper our next run of games are favourable, but so were West Ham, so were Brighton. Good teams. They've had really good seasons this year, but you know, we're Liverpool, we're title contenders. We have to beat these teams, and yeah, on paper, like you just said, Southampton next. That's fine, reading it on paper, but we now have to go and get ourselves up for that game, because it could be so easy to just turn up to Anfield and think, oh, this is Southampton, this is going to be a walk in the park.
Yeah.
But if we let that, you know, get in our mindset, then it's not going to end well. So all I want to see from this Liverpool team now is to just, that game yesterday was the marker, because now there's a straight run. There's no international breaks until like February, March time, I think. So yeah, let that be the start of something special. That's what I'm hoping for.
Brilliant. Wicked, man. We'll move on. Everybody, if you're new again, please hit that subscribe button. Hit the like if you haven't. 9 people watching, please hit that like button, people. And yeah, man, as we speak about Tottenham now. Tottenham 2, Leeds 1. Pat, you was at the game. You know, we're talking about crowds and talking about Anfield. Oh, look at that. Look at this. Perfect timing. Let's see if the connection is going to allow her to come in. Victoria, Leeds fan. Perfect timing. But Pat, you was at the game. Yeah. It did look like the crowd in the first half. You know, the Spurs crowd look like they're getting onto the players at the moment, man. What's your thoughts on it?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, hey, Vic, what's going on? You're right. So we've literally just started. We've just started the Tottenham and Leeds breakdown. So you joined just at the right time. So yeah, welcome to the show.
Victoria, do you want to introduce yourself just quickly before we start?
Yeah, I'm a Leeds United supporter. I don't have my own channel, unfortunately. But yeah, I'm here to give my views on the game.
Wicked. The connection is struggling a little bit.
Yeah.
Hopefully, we
Is do you want me to go and try and see if I can start this connection now?
yeah, that'll be brilliant.
Like, take me off and I'll come back.
Cool. We're just starting now anyway, so you'll be able to come in. All right. Yes, Pat. Yeah, man.
So pretty much. Obviously, we want to see attacking, positive football. And when the fullbacks, well, not the fullbacks, sorry, when the defenders were getting the ball and going backwards, or you saw Højbjerg get on the ball, there was no options, and he's turning around and passing it backwards. Harry Winks doing the same thing, side to side or gone backwards. After a while, you started to hear the murmurs, and it got louder and louder. We were atrocious in the first half. It was really poor. It was still 0-0. So I was thinking, okay, cool, we go in 0-0, we regroup. And then obviously they got the ball down the side, whipped it in. Dan James beat two defenders who were static and scored. And I was like, oh man. And then you heard the booing at half time. The crowd wasn't happy at all. It was just really flat. It was negative. There wasn't really much going on. We looked poor. I don't think we had, because I was at the game, I don't know the stats off the top of my head, but I don't think we had a shot on target in the first half.
You didn't.
Yeah, there you go. So then I'm thinking, what the hell's going on, man? Get Saul straight away in.
No. I know. It's the sixth game in one of the halves you haven't had a shot on target. So
yeah, it's poor. So second half completely different animal. We took the game straight to them. Kane should have scored straight away, pretty much, and then we were just all over them. The thing is, Leeds are a dangerous team. They may not. It's a weird one because Leeds aren't probably the best balanced team, but they have moments, don't they? And they can catch you slipping at any moment. They got quality in that team. Going forward, they can attack you. Dan James, again, we all know he's not the best footballer, but he's pacey and he's direct.
He played well today, man.
Yeah. He's. I think Leeds is a good fit for him, where the quality, no disrespect to Leeds, isn't as strong as United, so he can get in that team and have a run. But yeah, we were all over Leeds in the second half. I think we were worthy winners in the end. I think we hit the post 3 times in the second half, had a lot of shots on target, a lot more of the ball, but we just showed that intent. And you could see the difference. Conte, the tactician, changed things around. He was, he knows how to play the crowd, doesn't he? He's an entertainer. So he's riling up the crowd on the side.
He's another really, Klopp, isn't he?
Yeah. He knows how to really. And afterwards, I saw he was hugging all the players, screaming at them, like, well done, let's go, blah, blah, blah. So, yeah, it was really a game of 2 halves. I'm so glad that we came out in that second half and actually put up a fight. Leeds played well, man. Away from home, they really took the game. The thing I like about Leeds is that they play their game, regardless of the home or away. They just go at you, don't they? They don't really have some teams will set up differently for home or away or try and match you depending on who they're playing. Leeds just play their game. And they were unlucky today, man, because they had a lot of chances. Hugo Lloris was probably one of our best players. But in the end, I think the quality came through and we got the job done, man. It was nervy, though. Don't get me wrong. I predicted we'd win 3-1, and obviously it was quite tighter than that. But I'm happy. I think we showed in spurts that we still have something there.
Brilliant. Victoria, you're back.
Is the connection better now?
Yeah,
the connection looks better, yes.
I had to go onto my personal hotspot because Virgin Media is shit. It's absolutely pants, honestly. I lag every time I'm on FaceTime to my mum. I'm like, this is going to kill me.
Yeah, I'm on Virgin Media as well, and I've had my own battles with them, so I know what you're saying. How did you feel about the game today, Victoria?
Do you know something? When we found out that Rodrigo and Rafinha was off, I was hitting myself. I'm not even going to lie. I thought, we've got an under-23s bench. There's not a lot that we can do, especially now that you've got a new manager, and he's a well-known manager. He does great at every club he goes to. Gail's got so much to say about him. When I saw the lineup, however, I thought Gelhardt's got his chance now to really prove a point. And the first half, I didn't want to watch it. Honestly, I was shitting myself. I was like, there's no way we're going to beat them. But
that's the half you needed to watch.
Calvin, even taking out Mariner was perfect for me. Oh my god! But yeah, no, we did what we could with the resources that we had. we've got like 5 first-team players out. It wasn't an easy game for us. The first half, we absolutely dominated Spurs. And I mean, and I'm not even joking when I say this, but Kane is not good at the minute. And I hate to say that, but Calvin was all over him. Calvin was having the game of his life in that first half. Second half, don't know what happened. Bringing on Tyler Roberts was the worst decision anybody could ever make. He's the worst player that we've got. And
oh no.
Yeah, you man marked Kane. I saw that. I noticed that Calvin Phillips was literally man marking Kane, and anywhere Kane went, he was all over him.
Yeah.
But second half, Kane had the better of him, definitely.
Yeah, no, that's what I don't get. I mean, I thought, do you know what? Because we can murder ball and we're so fit as a squad, if we didn't even have a halftime interval, we could have gone 90 minutes and not been out of breath. That second half just ruined us. You know, Conte was making out that he was about to win the Champions League at the end of the game. I was like, what the hell? But, you know, you got to admire his enthusiasm. But considering the team that we had, we've got an under 23s bench. We haven't got a big squad, which is worrying. And we had Gelhardt up front. You know, we're not a Man City. We're not a Liverpool. We don't have 2-3 players to replace any player that was injured. So from what we did well. And I'm not disappointed in him. I'm actually quite proud. Marshall's been up for 2 years, and in the last 2 games he's been absolutely amazing when it comes to Calvin in central midfield.
Wicked. Sauls, obviously Arsenal and Tottenham have a big rivalry going on. How you see them now with Conte? Are you worried that they then can now start to push away from Arsenal again, or do you still think that Arsenal are closing the gap? Because obviously you have finished behind them in the last couple of seasons. Do you think that you could potentially get ahead of them now with Conte's there?
I think it's very 50-50. I think, yeah, it's an amazing acquisition to get a Conte in to really progress what Tottenham need to do. But I felt the same with Mourinho when he came in. I felt that was the right thing to do. But then they sacked him a week before a cup final. And I felt if he had kept him and they just got the hoodoo away from them and they won that Carabao Cup, I felt that's when I would have been scared, because once you do something and you break that spell or the curse or whatever you want to call it, that's when you get really threatening. And then for me, Conte, I'm not scared until the summer. I think this season's a write-off for Spurs because he doesn't really have his squad and he needs his players to fully implement a full season of his philosophy. I feel like he's trying to get the best out of the players he's got. But Kane, to me, doesn't seem to himself at the moment. Yes, he had brilliant moments in that game where I think one of the balls, I think it was Son or Mora that he played in, where he pretty much put them through one-on-one in the first half, I believe it was. And then there was moments where you're like, okay, you know what, the playmaker part of Kane is there, but he's just not being the striker that he normally is. And I thought this would change because obviously he said Conte's in now. He wanted a competing manager. He wanted something to come in that really made him believe that Spurs are moving in the right direction. And this was it. And he still doesn't look good. I'm not going to say he played good for England, so he needed to come back and perform because he played Albania and San Marino. We're expected to beat them. So I'm not worried this season. We'll have to see what they do in the summer before I really get worried, because if you don't back Conte, that's when things get toxic. It's the same happened at Inter, the same happened at Chelsea, same happened at Juve. Things like that happen at Italy as well when he managed there. So I think for me, it's as long as you back him, he'll be happy. But the minute you start to say, can you do without that player, is when things will turn to shit. So I think knowing Levy, that's highly likely to happen, that he may not get all his demands, which can turn what could be a good thing into a really bad thing. So I'm going to be balanced with it. Yes, I'm worried because it's Conte. You know, when anyone gets a world-class manager, you have to be worried. Like, there's no denying that. But if you don't give him what he wants, there's nothing to be worried about.
I hear that. Ben, I'm going to come to you in a second. But Pat, I wanted to ask you, there's a question that I wanted to raise, and it just follows on from what Saul said. Do you think that Spurs are struggling, the players are struggling to play the way that Conte wants them to play at the moment?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, he's only been, this is his second game as well, so we got to also remember that or take that into consideration. So this is only his second Prem game, third game in total. You could see it in the first half. They kind of weren't really sure what they were meant to do. In the second half, we looked like a totally different team. Both the fullbacks were bombing on. We had a bit more creativity in the middle. Kane looked like he was linking play, but also getting onto the end of things. So I saw like a tale of two sides, so to speak. So it'll take time, but going off that second half, I'm instilled with a lot more confidence. First half, I was thinking, what the fuck's going on? Like, what is actually happening? They didn't look like they knew how to play football. I'm still, because it's Conte, I'm going to give him a lot more time and thing, because when I saw Harry Winks, if I saw Nuno or Ryan Mason or even Jose Mourinho start with Harry Winks, I'd be ranting and raving and posting all over Twitter saying, what the fuck's going on? He doesn't know what he's doing. But because it's Conte, you know what? I trust him. I let him. Harry Winks for me didn't have a good game. I didn't really see the point of him playing there, especially when you got Tanguy and Ndombele and you've got other players that could be basically better on the ball and more creative. But cool, it's Conte. I let him,
But what is
what
up with Ndombele? Can I ask, is he injured still or what?
No, he's not injured. He's fit. He's fit. Yeah, Conte said that Ndombele is so talented, but he needs to give more to the team, and he needs to be a team player first. Okay. Conte came out and said this on Friday. So this is now the third manager that's kind of said the same thing. So as talented as he is, we can see, not me personally, but there's definitely something there. 3 different managers are all saying the same sort of thing. Yeah, you're talented. Yes, you're really good, but it's a team game, and you need to give more. So we'll see what happens if Ndombele can get in the team. But someone as talented as Ndombele, there shouldn't be no questions. He should be one of the first names on the team sheet now. So there's still question marks for me on his application and desire and his mentality to really be one of the best. Because, we all see players that are really good and they can play with the eyes closed. But when it comes to actually performing and putting a shift in week in and week out, have they got that desire? And I'm not sure at the moment if Ndombele really has that or if he wants to be here. So we'll see.
What, Ben, let me ask you, because I'm thinking to myself, okay, Conte, Jose Mourinho, similar type of managers. Mm-hmm. I'm not sure if Ndombele is their type of player. What are your thoughts? Do you think it's an attitude problem like what Victoria said? Or do you think it's more of a thing that maybe an Ndombele doesn't fit the way that a Conte, let's talk about Conte, wants to play football?
Yeah, I mean, it's a bit of a weird one, really, because obviously Ndombele, when he signed for Spurs, had all this hype and all this potential, but I've only really seen glimpses of it at Tottenham. Like, some of the games he's played, he's been unplayable for the opposition, but I've not really seen him have that consistent run in the team and week by week where he just makes me think, wow, what a player. So I don't know. Maybe there is something there because obviously there's been a couple managers now. He was there under Mourinho, right, as well?
Yeah.
So that's 3 managers then now. So yeah, I think that can tell you a lot. But maybe sometimes the club's just not the right fit for a player. Sometimes the club signs a player and you're looking at it and you're thinking, really, is this guy really the one that's going to take us forward? And maybe Tottenham eventually, if they keep on not using him in the way that he was bought to, they might just have to cut their losses and sell him on and bring someone else in. I mean, I've seen a lot of Spurs fans talking about players from the Serie A. Milinkovic-Savic, I think, is one that some people were mentioning coming in or something like that. So we know what Conte wants. He wants his system to just be solid. He wants that midfield to be secure. Obviously, he might want a bit of flair in there as well, which Ndombele has. I mean, his technical ability is incredible. No one can doubt that. But at the end of the day, you've got to think like he's just walked into this team and he's got the players that were there when he came in. Obviously, he's going to have a January window, and I read that the board are going to back him. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see who he does bring in.
Brilliant. Victoria, I wanted to ask you, I'm just having a look. Leeds sits 17th, 11 points after 12 games, -8 goal difference. Are you at all concerned or worried about relegation this season?
No, definitely not. There's no reason why we would get into relegation. The problem is that we do have Patrick Bamford and Luke Ayling, which Luke's one of the right backs. He's amazing as a player. He's come so far in his career. When we get Bamford back and we've got Rodrigo there, sometimes Rafinha comes into the number 10 position. The thing is as well with Dan James, because he's coming to a squad as well, and none of his first team players are there because they're injured. It's so hard for a player to settle in when his teammates are not there. So it's once these injuries are going to come back. I think Patrick Bamford's not going to be coming back until around Boxing Day, around early January.
Yeah.
January's always been a problem for us, always. But it could work in our favour by all the injuries coming back around that time and us having a fully fit squad, whereas everyone else might be having problems with injuries and dropping points. I definitely do not think we're going to be in a relegation battle at all. I reckon. Want me to give you a position?
Yeah. Where do you think?
I'm gonna go with 12.
Okay.
Right, because second season syndrome is not going to be happening to us. We're not going to be getting relegated. That is a fact. But we've had 5, probably 6 players injured since the beginning of the season, so it's very hard.
Yeah.
We do have utility players that can go from position to position, but if they're not in their natural position, they're not going to play well. If you're always having to bring Dallas from central midfield back into left back, and you having to move Stroud doesn't play well in CDM, so you got to keep him in that back four. It doesn't work. It doesn't make any sense to me that moving players around, we're not going to play well. It's not a connection that goes well. You've got to keep your players, which is why we need a bigger team. We've got a very small squad. No team in the Premier League's got a bench of under 23s. It doesn't make any sense to me.
Yeah. Do you think that you make any signings in January?
I think we're getting rid of one, and Tyler Roberts needs to get into League One immediately. No,
that's you talking though. That's not. That's.
I'm really ill today, and I'm surprised I got on here, but he wound me up. He kept giving the ball away. He was kicking the ball into a position where nobody was there. I'm like, what are you doing? Don't take Forshaw off. He's like a bionic man. He's not played for 2 years, and he's come in and he's done brilliant over the last 2 games. It's it, and Bielsa I do question some of Bielsa's subs. Why would you take Forshaw off and put Roberts on? You know what I mean? It doesn't make any sense. But I do not think we're going to be in a relegation battle. I think we need to get rid of some players though. Firpo came on. He's not ready. I'm not convinced by Firpo at the moment. You know what I mean? But yet again, a lot of the players that we have got at the moment, they're not playing with a fully fit squad. It's really hard for a player to come in knowing what the team is and not there to train with.
Yeah. I hear you. People in the comments, let us know what you think. Not necessarily saying that Leeds get relegated, but could they be in for a relegation fight this year? Because
can I just say, if they do get relegated, shotgun Rafinha?
No.
Oh,
yeah. Are you
Liverpool?
Yeah.
Liverpool.
If there's going to be any team in the league, he'll go to Liverpool. If not, he's going to go abroad. He's definitely not going to Arsenal. He's definitely not going to Spurs. Certainly not Man United or Liverpool.
I mean, if you're renegade, he ain't got a choice, has he? So there's always never say never, isn't it?
Oh, don't be giving me that shit.
Wicked. One last thing, Pat, before we move on to the next game. Gunnar Sol said that it's a write-off season for Spurs. Do you agree with that?
I don't understand where this where that.
No. Can I clarify? I didn't mean it that way. I didn't mean it in that way. That's not what I meant. That's very, very, very like taking it out of context. No, what I'm saying is,
I'll just repeat what you said.
No. All I'm saying is, I don't think Conte will do as well this season until he gets his players in.
Yeah.
I'm not saying right off, of course, you know.
And that's what I'm getting at. To be fair, Pat. What do you
I
think?
don't
Do you
think-
think
I
that
mean,
you
yeah,
think he
like-
can achieve anything with these players? Is what I'm getting at, because I saw that performance in the first half, and I thought to myself, you know what, Conte is going to need his players to play the Conte way. It looks like these players, I'm not sure if they can do it.
Yeah, I mean, again, we're quite reactionary as football fans. Not you, Semps. I'm just saying in general. I saw the comments on Twitter, on Instagram, etc. He's only had them for 2 games, so it's going to take time. Of course, some of the players aren't good enough. We know that. We've seen them flop under Poch, Mourinho, Mason, and Conte's now got them. We know some of them aren't good enough, but he's definitely a top manager, so he can get something out of this squad. I think we're definitely challenging for the top 6, and I don't see why we can't win that Conference League. So I don't think it's a write-off season. We're into the quarters of the whatever cups it is, the Carabao Cup or whatever. So we've got West Ham. I don't see why we can't knock them and go through to the next round. So there's things up for grabs. Huh? Yeah, we can beat West Ham. Of course we can.
To beat West Ham.
Oh,
This isn't West Ham 4 years ago. This is West Ham today.
West Ham that just lost to Wolves.
Yeah, I don't like
West Ham.
The same that beat Liverpool.
Yeah, so what? We put it in our squad. We can beat West Ham, man.
Anything can happen
can
in
beat
clubs as well, isn't it?
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, I'm not saying that West Ham are a crap team. I didn't say that, but I know I don't see why we can't beat them. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, I don't think it's a write-off season. What, sorry, Vic?
They've got a good manager, so you've only had your manager for a couple of weeks.
Wait, when are the
but if you
quarterfinals?
have
Isn't it in like 2 weeks' time or something?
I think it's this week coming, if I'm not mistaken.
That's because Champions
it's coming
League this
up.
week, isn't it?
Yeah, no, it's Champions League this week.
Yeah, only
So
some people know about that.
Next week then.
Yeah.
But yeah, I see us fighting for top 6, and then I think we should definitely be fighting for that Conference League as well. So yeah, I don't see it as a write-off. It's early days, but yeah, no, I don't see it as a write-off just yet. No way.
Cool. Vic, you wanted to ask something?
I do. Do you really think the man of the match deserved the man of the match?
Who got it?
Who was man of the match? I didn't see it.
Regular.
Oh, did he get it? Okay.
He was absolutely missing for pretty much 70 minutes. He did not deserve. Calvin Phillips in that first half alone deserved that man of the match, and I'm not being.
Because you lost, man of the match very rarely goes to the losing team. No, I'm not. I don't make the rules. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. That's what you very rarely see. Man of the match go to a player on the losing team, unless it's a goalkeeper that's like been making loads of saves. But yeah,
you believe he deserved it.
No, I don't think Regulon did anything special today. I don't believe so.
Who would you guys say?
Oh, that's hard because no one had a good game. I think people had either a good half. I think
the good half. Yeah, the first half, a lot of players stood out.
Yeah, I wouldn't say there was any. Yeah, I wouldn't say there's any standout players. To be fair, yeah,
and that's probably why he got it.
Because he won the game for them. That's it.
He won the game. Yeah. Anyway, we'll move on, people. We'll move on. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has been sacked as Manchester United manager.
Absolutely devastated.
Interview.
I know everybody's upset, boy. Everyone's upset with Watford now. They're thinking, why didn't you just win 2-1?
They had to go one step too far, innit?
They went too far, innit? 4-1 was too far. They should have kept it at 2-1 or something. 4-1, it was too far. They just pissed you all off, but made me happy anyway. Oh, who watched the game?
I did.
Yes, talk to us.
I had Villa and that on at the same time, so I was like,
okay, all right, then Ben, we'll get your thoughts as well. And actually, Ben, it'll be good to get your thoughts on Man United in general as well. Obviously, you beat us 5-0 at Old Trafford, but Gunnar Sauls, what did you make of the game and the way Manchester United were playing and the way Watford were playing?
Mate, that was literally.
Wait, sorry. Just me. I just need to big up Mimi, respect my club sense, watch your mouth. I'm the one who predicted 3-1 Watford win. When I was on Mimi's channel, on her show on Friday, and Mimi, you turned off the show because you thought I was chatting rubbish, and you'd actually beat us 4-1. So you know what? I'm giving Watford their kudos. I said you were going to win before the game, and I knew that you lot will come with the smoke at Vicarage Road. We don't do well there all of the time, and I thought Watford played really well, man. You deserved the win, and you smoked us. So big up to yourself, big up to Watford. And Sauls, yeah, what did you think about the game?
If there's any performance that says, you know what, I don't want the manager here, it was that. I can't believe the players have the audacity, literally hours after, to say, oh yeah, we back this man, we respect Ole. Harry Maguire even said, like, I respect, and then he goes, yes, a red card. I'm like, come on, man, you're chatting waffle. And then Bruno after, no, blame the players. Shut up, man. You know what you're doing. You got the manager sacked, and then now you're playing this sympathy game. Nah, you can't do that. Watford were brilliant, by the way. Watford were absolutely man to man. They were absolutely incredible. I mean, it's difficult to really judge because it's like, well, United didn't really want to play. They haven't wanted to play for a long time, and but that doesn't take away from Watford. Like Watford are 17th. What are they, like 17th or something when they came into this game? And now they've obviously got the 3 points to jump forward. They are a tough team, even when you look at them play against Arsenal. Even though I think we dominated them, but they were good. They were solid. I think structurally, Ranieri's really got them where they need him. And now it's just about getting these results. And I think Watford will survive. I think they've got enough firepower. Yeah. I still can't believe Ismail Assar's there. No disrespect to Watford. I just think he's a phenomenal baller. He's just underneath that Rafinha level for me, but he's just above a lot of the other average wingers. But I think Rafinha for me is just a bit more technically better. I've always said it. Ismail Assar is basically Adama Traore with end product. Like, that's the way I put him. What everyone said Adama Traore is.
No. He's much better than Traore.
That's what I'm saying. But people rave about Traore. Like, oh my God, look at him, how good he is. I'm just saying Ismail Assar is everything Traore is, but with end product. That's the difference. I think United just basically a good send off, good way to get your manager sacked. I think that's the way you put it for United.
So sorry to interrupt. Do you honestly think the players did that? Do you think they down?
Oh yeah. You're telling me Maguire does that any other time? Maguire's shit. Don't get me wrong, he's a fridge, but he's not that much of a fridge. You know what I mean? He's not that shit. He's not that stupid. Come on.
You tell him, Ben. You tell him, Ben. You tell him, Ben.
Bro. He's the deadest centre back I've ever seen in my life, honestly.
Why is the biggest fraud in football? The little knob.
He scores against a team for England who most of their players have part-time jobs because they're not like big ballers.
That was funny. I can't lie.
And then like Roy Keane hit the nail on the head. Like, that's not where your critics are for England. Like, no one's saying Harry Maguire for England is a bad player. It's always been for United. And yeah, the way I see United and the thing that's happened, it's just the same story as every other manager. It's Alex Ferguson. So to me, yeah, we banter these managers. We banter Mourinho, and Van Gaal was, in my opinion, probably the best one since Ferguson. I know Mourinho won 3 trophies, but in terms of the manager that got United as closer to where they need to be, I think Van Gaal was probably the best. But the same problem's always there. Signing Ronaldo, so City couldn't sign him. For me, that was the reason why. I don't know if there was anything more to it than that, but I just think that put United so far back because players like Mason Greenwood, Jadon Sancho, they're not getting the game time and the development that they needed to get this season. Mason Greenwood has been unreal since coming in for United. One of the best natural finishers in the Premier League at 20, 21. He might not even be that old. So, yeah, I don't know what's going to happen now.
It's just a fucking nightmare, isn't it? You don't pay 80 million for a player like that and just bench him. It doesn't make any sense to me, Kelly scored more goals than Sancho and had more assists.
Yeah, it's mad.
And he's been out for pretty much like 9 games or whatever. So it's, you don't buy players like that and bench them and not play them. This is why Ole needs to leave that club. It doesn't make any sense to me.
My thing is as well, I don't understand why they've sacked the manager, but guys, Carrick and Fletcher, like, they should have been packing the bags to go with him too. Because as far as I'm concerned, there is part to blame as well. Yeah, Michael Carrick's now going to take the job with no experience behind him, other than playing on the iPad every game, probably playing Flappy Bird or something. Like, I don't
Who's
understand.
the
Like,
who's the guy that came in for Spurs? Who's now on the fucking training?
Oh, Ryan Mason.
Ryan Mason.
Ryan Mason, yeah.
What's going on at Manchester United now? They're putting the training staff in. It's
Michael
amazing.
Carrick. We'll start seeing Carricks at the wheel soon. Like, I think that's what it's going to be. Yeah. Like,
And they're getting an interim till the end of the season. They are so fucking poorly run. It's brilliant, by the way. I love it.
yeah, but Souls, if they're getting an interim to the end of the season, that tells me that they've got something lined up, but they have to wait.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think it's Poch. I think Poch is coming to United and Zidane going PSG.
He's going to leave his current club for that.
Well, he's getting sacked. PSG have already basically made it apparent that he is going to get sacked, yeah. The murmurs are already coming out. They're getting him sacked because they want to get Zidane in. PSG have made it clear Zidane is their target.
I've heard that Zidane doesn't want to come to Manchester, though. His wife doesn't want to move to Manchester. So
No,
that's
But he wanted the France
Nice.
job. This is the next best thing.
No, you're
Okay,
saying Zidane to PSG, aren't you, Sauls?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what you're saying. And then Poch will be available.
Like Poch is going to go to Man U, and then Zidane's going to go to PSG.
Because nothing else makes sense. Why else would you wait till the end of the season? You may as well go now and get your manager. So I think what they're trying to do is, I think Zidane said no to them. They know that he wants either he wants the France international job, but I don't think he's going to wait until after the World Cup to go into a managerial job. So he may take the PSG job for now, see how France do, and then maybe jump gun again. But I think what they're going to do is go get Poch in the meantime, which I still think is just Ole 2.0. They're not going to win anything. They're still going to be sort of where they are, competing in sort of second, third. So I don't really get their thought process to what they're doing.
You should get Brendan Rodgers.
But he's the same. He's
Brendan Rodgers.
That's why I want them to get Brendan Rodgers, because he's crowd.
He's loyal.
yeah, true.
What's your thoughts anyway? We've been doing all the talking.
Yeah. No, it's obviously it's good to hear thoughts from other fans that I don't know as well. And just listening to what Sauls was saying there about, and I was just making a note so I can come back to it, about the players getting the manager sacked, and you couldn't be so wrong, Sauls, in that. It's got nothing to do with the players getting the manager sacked. The manager got himself sacked. That's purely what happened. And I said on the Watford show preview on Friday, I don't think that people that don't watch Manchester United really understand what's happening at Manchester United, especially on the pitch. Ben, you would have seen a glimpse of it. Well, not even a glimpse. You would have seen it in the 5-0 win for yourselves, that Manchester United are terrible. We are awful. We are embarrassing. And I'm not saying these words to, be like, the fact is that they're big words, but that's how bad we are at the moment.
You've got a lot of massive egos in your team, and you need to figure out who's doing
No, it's got nothing to do with egos and all of this stuff, because when you watch Manchester United, you can see they don't know what they're doing. They're all looking around. We do have players like Harry Maguire that's been poor all season, but he continues to play every game. The manager rushes him back from injury and plays him against Leicester, and he's then at fault for goals. This is not a player issue. That's then a manager issue. We've got Donny van der Beek yesterday, who you lot may have seen played really well when he came on in the second half. Just know that before yesterday, he'd had 15 minutes of Premier League football, and he can't get in a team that's losing every week, and he can't get in a team ahead of Scott McTominay and Fred, who are both awful. You've got Luke Shaw. Say that again.
Fred's not the greatest player in the world, to be honest. I don't understand how he gets in front of anyone else.
And this is what I'm saying. The players didn't get the manager sacked. The manager got himself sacked. You can't then say the players getting the manager sacked when they're 2-0 down and then they're fighting back to win 3-2. They're losing in Europe, and then Ronaldo's getting last-minute winners. We have to get away from this thing of players are down in tools and all of this stuff. The manager wasn't good enough. That's the reason why you lot all singing Ollie's at the wheel. Everyone can see the manager was not good enough. Now, and the football that we've been playing has been horrendous this season. But even last season, when we were finishing second and we were top at points, Pat will tell you, I've been saying the football is not consistent. We don't play good enough football. And the fact is that now he's been found out this season because he signed Sancho, he benches him. He's had Varane. Unfortunately, Varane has been injured, but when Varane has played, he's been good. And he signed Ronaldo. You've improved the squad from last year, and we've actually gone backwards. That's on the manager. I'm sorry.
True.
Yeah. Do you think any manager's going to be able to come in and fix what the problems are?
The other thing as well is what Saul said is that we're a poorly run club. So, you know, I actually said at the beginning when Ole Gunnar Solskjaer first came in, I said LVG failed, Jose Mourinho failed, and these were experienced managers.
Yes,
Ole Gunnar Solskjaer was never going to succeed. But I'll flip it on his head a little bit. You know, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer can actually look back at his time as Manchester United manager and say, yeah, I did kind of succeed at Man U, because I don't believe he was ever going to be the elite manager we needed to get us to the next level. I think that he done what he needed to do. He got out Deadwood. He brought in Manchester United are in a better place now than when he took over. And I think that's really what his job was. I think that he should have left after the Europa League final when we lost. That's when he should have been sacked. But again, we're poorly run. We don't have a plan. And this is why he wasn't. But he's gone now. He's left the squad in a much better place for the next manager to come in and take over. And we need to get the next manager right. We need to get the recruitment right. Many Man United fans.
Who do you want right now?
Who do I want? Ten Hag is the one that I think all Man United fans want when you speak to them, because of the way Ajax play and everything like that. I wanted Pochettino before. I'm not going to lie. Before he went to PSG, Pochettino would have been my choice. And I know that he's not a serial winner, but I just look at what he done with Spurs for those few years, and I'm a big fan of his from those times. But now I do think that we need to really make a statement and get a proper manager in. And I agree with you, Ben, that the fact that we're looking for an interim manager says to me that, you know, we've got our long-term manager in, like the target's there. We know who we're looking to get. There's probably talks already happening behind the scenes. We'll get the interim into the end of the season and then try and get that manager at the end of the season. Because if it is a Ten Hag, and I don't think that we are going to get him, by the way, but if it is a Ten Hag, he's not going to come mid-season, is he? So
are you happy to wait, given that it's a good appointment?
Yeah, I agree.
Are you willing to write this whole season off? I'm not saying write it off, but willing to let the season do what it needs to do. Just let that interim do what he needs to do, if it means getting a Poch or a Ten Hag in.
I was ready to even just ride the Ollie wave if it meant we was going to get Ten Hag at the end of the season. Real talk. You know, I've wanted Ollie gone, but if it meant that we got a Ten Hag at the end of the season, say that again, Vic.
I wanted Ollie to stay in.
Yeah, you all did.
Everyone wanted Ollie to stay.
We're not having a 5 thrashing again. Fuck that.
Yeah. But you know, I'm not gonna lie. I'm not scared until you change your back room. Until your board doesn't change or someone comes in. If Ten Hag comes in, the only thing that I then get fear of is maybe Van der Sar and Overmars follow. That's when I'll be scared. Then I'll be like, shit, okay, they may listen to these guys, back them, and they know how to recruit players. But that's when I'll be like, okay, you might be back.
Can I? When people say this, I actually get a bit confused, and I might be missing something. I might be a bit naive, but you say, oh, they're not ran and they're not backed and stuff, but they continue to spend hundreds of millions of pounds. If they mix a good manager with that, then surely, it's going to be good, right?
But there's a difference, though. Backing the manager is different to just backing Ronaldo wasn't needed. They were just giving him.
I agree.
I think what he wanted was a DM. That's backing your manager. Doing the hard thing is saying to him, right, okay, let Ronaldo go to City because we don't need him. We've got goal scorers. And to be fair, Rashford had 19 goal contribution. Fernandes was nearly 30 goal contribution. Mason Greenwood was on 20 odd goals. Your goals weren't your issue. The issue was your midfield structure. So they should have done the right thing and said, okay, we don't really have money. Is it going to be Ronaldo or a DM? Do we need Ronaldo? No, let's go get that DM for 25 million instead. That's backing your manager, not just giving him someone because to save face. That's not backing for me anyway.
And that's basically it. Ben, you look at your club and the way that you guys, obviously, I know you don't have your issues and your with your board and everything, but there is a plan. There is a plan when you buy players. You know, you waited to get Van Dijk because he fit the profile of what you were looking for. You get your Robertsons, you got your Trent Alexander-Arnold, and then you've got your Hendersons, your Wijnaldums, your Fabinhos, because, you know, that's not when you look on paper, that's not the best midfield three in the world. But in that Liverpool system, it's the best in Europe, because you're winning Champions Leagues and leagues. Manchester United don't have that type of plan. And this is the thing. They spend at certain points in time. When it's to try and get us back into the Champions League, then they will start splashing. But it's about having that plan. It's about having the right manager. They didn't want a Conte because they know that he's going to put pressure on them to change the way and things that they don't want to do. And with anything in life, it always comes from the top all the way down. You know, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer was collateral damage, but you know, he was a yes man, so he fit what they sort of want. Do you know what I mean? And this is the problem. We need to get, like you say, we need to change the backroom staff. It's crazy how, you know, them man are still there and they didn't follow him. But then again, that just shows they keep employing all of these old Manchester United players. You know, Fletcher's come in. He's a technical director, but he's on the training ground and he's training with the players and he's doing it. It just all is a bit of a mess. And that's what we need. We need footballing people making footballing decisions. And until we get that, we are always going to be playing catch up. So the next manager that comes in sort of needs to bring that with him as well. And it just remains.
I actually think Pochettino, because he's a Bielsa graduate, he knows how Bielsa plays. Same as Pep Guardiola. The way Pep and Bielsa play, they're very two dynamic managers. They are a completely different style of play to anyone in the league. I think it's like with Ollie, he's just gone out and bought anyone. He's like going to Asda and having a £500 million spending space. I'll have that. But he doesn't know what to do with what he's bought. And you need a manager that knows how to get the best out of the positions that you're buying. And you've got too many expensive players on the bench, and no player wants to be sat on a bench at £80 million and not doing anything. I don't want to be great at football and sitting on a bench and just getting paid for a living. That's your problem. But you can't have a PE teacher doing that with £1 billion squad. It doesn't make any sense to me. And I don't like Manchester United at all, but then players deserve a little bit more respect.
Yeah, look, the way Donny van der Beek has been treated has been disgusting. Sancho as well. Chase. You buy him, and then he's on the bench. Like what you said, Ronaldo was not needed. Ronaldo was never in the plans, and this is the other issue. Ronaldo was never in the plans. Apparently, we was going to get a DM towards the end, but again, that's all backwards because a DM was every Manchester United's priority. So why was that not done first? So yeah, look, Manchester United are a mess. That's the reality. But we have got good players now. We do need another couple of windows to just balance it out a little bit. But I think another manager coming in inherits a much better squad and can maybe, depending on the profile of that manager, can really start to push us forward. Pat, you've been quiet there for a while. Have you got any thoughts on Ollie?
Yeah, no, I've been letting everyone have their say because, everyone's been, saying some really good stuff. So I don't always need to interject, but I will flip it and say that I feel sorry for Ollie because much as I didn't believe he was the right manager, I thought he came in at a really tricky time for United. He stabilized the club, like Seb said. He did a really good job, if we're being honest, but his ceiling was his ceiling. He's not an elite manager, so it was unfair for United fans. Well, not really United fans. United fans knew his level, but the board should have acted quickly after the Europa League final last year. They should have gave him a golden handshake, said, well done. You've done a really good job for us. Let's cut ties amicably and, let's see you off. And they should have gotten the top manager in the summer. And then United would have been able to take that step. You've almost pretty much left him to drown without a lifeboat or, without a safety vest. And it's unfair on him. He can't manage all these egos, all these big players. United have a top squad. United have a good team. When a good manager comes in, you'll see the difference. And obviously, I've been in the background arguing with Arsenal fans. You might not know this, but I had something about Saka versus Sancho. And obviously, a lot of Arsenal fans are saying that Saka's a lot better than Sancho. Sancho's come into United and flopped. But I'm like, you can't really say Sancho's flopped because Ollie's not played him. And as soon as Sancho played on the weekend, you saw how good the guy is. So these are things that, like Semps has been saying all along, Ollie's had a lot of stuff against him. He hasn't helped himself, admittedly, but I just feel he wasn't ready for this next level. And it's quite funny as well because people still talk about Pochettino, but as much as I'm a Spurs fan and I love Poch, I don't think Poch would be the manager to take Man United forward either. I think Poch has also hit a bit of a lull in his career, and he's struggling at PSG. When you look at the players that they've got and the talent that they've got, he's struggling to get the best out of that team. So I think Ten Hag is probably the best fit for United going forward because Ten Hag plays sexy football. He's got a good pedigree domestically and in Europe. Ajax of course they haven't won the Champions League in a long time, but you've seen he's knocked out top teams and he's gone toe to toe with pretty much Europe's best. And he knows how to coach players and bring them through. So for me, I think Ten Hag is the best fit. And I think they should go out and get him, but they should also bring in his backroom staff, bring in Van der Sar, bring in the guys that Ten Hag works with. And then you've got the whole setup and structure. United don't just need a manager. They need the backroom to be in sync with the manager. So going forward, they build on what they got. Because United have got a top team. Their squad is as good as anyone's, if we're being honest. But they just need the right
manager.
They might
get Ryan Gravenberch as well.
Yeah, exactly. There you go. He's
a manager that's going to know what to do.
If they get Ten Hag, they might get Ryan Gravenberch.
Yeah, it makes sense, man. It makes sense.
Wicked people. Thank you very much. Those in the comments, thank you all for your comments. And yeah, I agree with what you've said there, Pat. We'll move on from Manchester United, but I think just going forward, we're going to get an interim manager now, and it's just going to be interesting to see what happens. For me, the season's a write-off. I'll wipe my hands off this season now, but I'm not surprised to see this season go the way it has anyway. So we just wait and see what happens when we get our proper manager in and take it from there. We'll touch on a couple other games, and then we will break off for today, man. I've really enjoyed today's show so far. I just wanted to get your thoughts on Chelsea, Ben, because obviously you're in the running now for another Premier League title, but Chelsea don't seem to be letting up. What are your thoughts on them? Do you think that Liverpool can pip them to the title this year, or do you think it will just be you just can't call it?
Yeah, I mean, before the start of the season, I put us down to win it, and that was based on three things: signing a centre back, a centre mid, and a forward. We signed one of those, which I didn't think was enough, and that's why there's been so much outrage with the board, and fans are saying, we're going to get left behind. All these other teams now spending like mad amounts of money, and we sign a player for 30 million. And look, Conte is a brilliant centre back. He's a long-term player who's hopefully going to be the successor of Virgil one day, but it's just not enough. And when you see Chelsea's squad and the way they're playing, and they bring off an attacker, they've got Christian Pulisic to bring on, and they bring off a centre mid, and they've got the likes of Loftus-Cheek coming on, who's been really good this season. I didn't rate him that much before, but this season when I've watched him, he's been really good, and they've just got so much depth in defence, and it's just like, yeah, we kind of shot ourselves in the foot drawing against them with 10 men. I think that was pivotal, and hopefully it's not a result that we look back on at the end of the season. But of course we can. I mean, it's 4 points. It's November at the end of the day. But when you compare the squads, I said, Tuchel came in and he won the Champions League. It was just a bit of a bounce. Like, their bubble will burst, but their bubble hasn't looked like bursting anytime soon. And that's the worry. They're just going from strength to strength. I'm waiting for that time where somebody pulls out a surprise result, because, they happen. Brighton came to Anfield and got a point, but it's just, I know they drew to, was it Burnley the week before the international break? Yeah. Then we went and lost ourselves. So, we have to capitalize on these things, and that's what's not giving me the confidence right now. I'd probably say our chance is the Champions League this year. because I'd still say in a two-leg game against anyone, I'd back my team. And obviously, your Premier League is 38 games, but yeah, I think Chelsea looking strong favourites right now.
Yeah.
I think they're gonna win it this year.
Who, Chelsea?
Yeah, I think Tuchel's amazing.
Yeah.
He's such a shit. He's just a shit house manager. If you fuck up, he's like, get off my pitch.
Yeah.
That's the kind of manager these little spoiled footballers need. If you're not going to do what I say, get off my pitch. Do you know what I mean? You're replaceable. That's the attitude. I love it. You know, I do think Chelsea are going to, if he wins this year, fair play to him. You can't disagree with anything that he's doing at the moment. He's doing so well. He's disciplined his players. That's the point. When Lampard was there, he had no discipline over any of his players whatsoever. He didn't know what to do with them. He's like Man United.
Yeah.
He had a team, but he didn't know what to do with them. It's all right being a player, but a manager's different.
I
do think Chelsea are going to win it this year. I hope they do. Fair play to them.
You hope they do?
Yeah, I mean,
I probably would rather them than City or Liverpool.
I'm a Leeds fan, and Man City won it way too many times. They can just piss off for now. Give someone else, give the smaller guys a chance. Do you know what I mean?
We've only won it once in 30 years. Come on, let us have another.
If Liverpool win it, he's going to be one of the most impressive managers in a long time.
Yeah.
To take the team in 2 seasons to the league. Yeah.
Well, one season, he came in halfway last year, innit? So this is his first full season. So if he was to win it, yeah, man, kudos to him.
Biggest achievement in Premier League.
Oh, I wouldn't go that far, Vic, but yeah, it would be a massive achievement.
Well,
Souls.
the short time for what he's done with the team and turned it around and disciplined his players, it's very Bielsa-esque.
Yeah, he's done well. So, talking about managers, I wanted to ask you, Leicester are not in a good run of form at the moment. What are your thoughts on Brendan Rodgers? Do you think that his job's under threat there at all, or?
Who, me?
No, Souls.
Nah, I think Leicester's are in a bit of a blip. I don't really know what's going on because he just clearly doesn't trust Maddison for some weird reason. And Maddison is probably one of their best technical players on the pitch. And you can see Vardy's really struggling because of that. Like Maddison and Vardy are brilliant together. So it does. And then obviously you've got Harvey Barnes, who's been in and out of the team as well due to injuries and stuff. So I don't know whether his job's a threat. Otherwise, I see him at United already, or maybe even out now. But I think there's still a long season to go. I wouldn't say that they're yet, and I don't think Leicester themselves know they're not going to consistently compete for the top 4. They were hoping to, but they know where their level is as well. They've been fortunate to be in the position they're in. They're a very well-run club, but there is always a ceiling to where you can go, and there's always going to be that little humbling experience. Unfortunately, the Premier League is the top teams will always be top for a long period of time, but you'll always get that odd team coming in for a few seasons who can maybe upset the top 6, but longevity, that's never going to happen. I feel like you either need to spend the same level or bring in as many top level players to maintain that. And I feel like Leicester have just been under the radar signings, like Samari, for example, top signing, Paston Daka, other top signing, but they're under the radar signings. They needed that push of a signing. They needed that top level proven player to come in. Even if they'd, instead of Samari, got Basuma, for example, I would have been like, okay, fair play. They're looking to be a bit more serious than they have been. And that's all it is. They need to level their squad up now. I feel they're too predictable the way they play. It's Vardy or bust. And without Barnes, they've not got another outlet. Without playing Maddison, they've got no other outlet. So I think they've become too predictable. They're relying on the same players season on season. And that's all it is. Once they change that, and once they change the dynamic of their team once in a while, they might do well. But until then, I don't see them really being a threat this season.
You see the whole Brendan Rodgers thing. For me, I think he's overrated, and I've been saying this. I think he doesn't really have a plan B. We're seeing it. And to be fair, I think he's been really unprofessional. He was linked with Spurs in the summer. He was linked with Man City briefly for a very short stint when everyone was saying, will Pep go or not? And then Manchester United now. And you can see he's taken his eye off the ball, man.
But is that him? You say he's being unprofessional.
They're rumours.
Yeah,
though.
that's not.
No, because even though they're rumors, managers still flirt around. It happens. Like managers still flirt with these opportunities. Like we
Hasn't
saw
he
it when,
turned down loads of clubs in the past though? Over the last
yeah, but he still flirt. He's still behind the scenes. He's having his representatives are having meetings to see what's going on. He's taking
flirt around with a couple of clubs being Spurs.
You what? Sorry.
Wouldn't you flirt around? I mean, it's
Nah,
like
Brendan Rodgers. Like he's not been the same guy this year, and you can see it in the performances of Leicester and the players. And I think they're just, I don't really rate Brendan Rodgers, to be honest. I know a lot of people were gassing him up. To be fair, I think Man United have missed a bullet by hiring him because he's not the guy that everyone's shouting him out to be, and we're seeing it this year. He looks devoid of ideas. And they've been run over by a lot of teams now. And like Sauls is saying, there's no plan B there. It's either Vardy or bust. Iniacho, he came in for a little bit last year and they kind of got a bit of joy out of that. That doesn't seem to be working. Maddison, for whatever reason, doesn't seem to be in his good books. And the defense isn't as tight as it used to be as well. I don't know with Brendan Rodgers. Something there just doesn't scream top manager for me.
I hear you, Pat. I hear you, man. We are going to wrap up shortly, but I just wanted to get you guys' thoughts on and Nippin. I'll actually ask that question just before we wrap up. I'll ask that question to the panel and see if they can give you an answer. But Ben, we saw results at the weekend. Aston Villa 2, Brighton 0, Norwich 2, Southampton 1. Smith and Gerrard getting off to a great start. How do you think your old mate Steven Gerrard will do this season? How well do you think he will do?
I mean it's too early to tell, isn't it? It was a brilliant start. Villa haven't won in 5 before he came in, so I, from my own experience being at that Brighton game, I know how tough of a team Brighton are. When they start playing football, is very, very tough. And to come in straight away off the back of an international break, I think he had one training session with his players. I think it was really good of him to get them together and think, okay, yeah, let's go off to a good start here against a really tough team. I had it on the stream. I was kind of watching United and Villa at the same time. And you could see what he wants to do. 4-3-3, play on the front foot. I think he's going to, play this exciting brand of football, which he did play at Rangers, to be fair. I watched a fair bit of Rangers when he was there. Because if you guys don't know, Stevie G is like, he's my idol. He's the main reason why I started watching football. And I even met him at an airport a couple of years ago, which is like the best moment of my life. So I'm now going to watch every single Villa game I can, really, because I know it's inevitable. This guy's going to be the Liverpool manager one day, whether I like it or not, because I'm actually against it, because I never want to turn on him. I saw how Chelsea fans turned on Lampard. I saw how a few United fans turned on Ollie, and I don't want to be in that situation. But I know it's going to happen. So, yeah, I've got to support him. I've got to wish him the best of luck, but not next month when he comes to Anfield. I hope we smash him.
Standard.
There we go.
Say it how it is, Ben. Say it how it is.
Sentiment goes out the window, man. For 90 minutes. For 90 minutes, I want to smash him. 7-2 last season. I ain't forgot that. 7-2.
Oh yeah, for real. That was
man. Sauls, over to you. What do you think that Dean Smith can keep Norwich out of relegation?
I think he will.
No, I don't even know the point of Norwich in the Premier League. There's like no point of them. But the issue is they're too good for the Championship, but too shit for the Premier League. Do you know what I've always said? Yeah, I don't know what it is yet, but you know that Christian thing where you're not good enough for heaven, but you're not bad enough for hell, so you go in that middle section. That's Norwich, man. Norwich are literally just that. Yeah, they're just not good. It's like they'll come to the Premier League just to go back down. So
I live in Norwich. I understand the absolute mockery of that fan base is horrific. They don't. I mean, they've all got 6 toes. I mean, they can swim. They're Olympic.
Wow. Be careful. You might get lynched. If Norwich fans see this,
I'm going to give you 6 toes.
But Vic, you think that Norwich will stay up? You think he will keep them up?
with him, I think he's a good manager with the right team. It's like say for example with Moyes, with Manchester United, not the right fit. When he went to West Ham, second time,
Yeah.
and look at what he did last season. He was by far the best manager of the season last year for me. For what he had at his disposal, he did insane. I reckon Dean Smith will do that with Norwich. Just get rid of
Dean
because
Smith has come out and said he needs to be backed. He wants a striker in January, and he wants some additions. Obviously, Norwich don't really spend like that, so it'll be interesting to see what they do.
Smith's too busy putting it on Flaming Mignon. Do you know what I mean? Do you know what I mean? Spend it on a player. Pookie's not good enough.
They need to back him. They need to bring in a striker.
Cantwell needs to go to another team. Cantwell win around the right place. He would be insane.
Yeah, I've always liked him, man. I've always liked him.
Good player.
Yeah, man. I think if Norwich do stay up, then it gets a bit techie for which teams go down, and that could mean Leeds go down, Vic. It could mean. I'm just saying it opens up the door for one, isn't it?
You know what? Because
down is if 90% of our team were injured, which is a possibility.
You know what? If you not look at it, people are saying Watford aren't going to go down. Yeah, we're saying Norwich could stay up. Newcastle obviously got a cash injection.
I think Newcastle.
Who is going down this year then? Who's going down? Because
I put Burnley at the start, and I stand by it.
Yeah,
I think
I hope they do. I hope they go down. I hate them. They're the most anti-football I've ever fucking. I don't like them. They need to go.
You know what? It's actually the Premier League this year is so interesting because even if you look at the relegation candidates, all the teams there have a good say or have a good shout of why they should stay up. You're not looking at any team, probably other than Burnley, and saying you're going down. So it's gonna.
My laptop's gonna go off. Can I just go and get my charger?
We're gonna close off. Can you hold on for 2 minutes because we're gonna close off now?
It just come up.
Okay, wicked. Yeah. No. We're gonna close off now anyway because we've slightly run over people, but I just want to thank everybody in the chat. Sorry, Nipan, we can't ask your question because we do have to run. We do start 8:30, so try jump on 8:30 next week, and then you can ask your questions early doors. Thank you very much, Vic, Ben, Sauls. It's been a pleasure. Please,
thanks for having me.
Don't worry. Please plug everything that you want to. Starting with yourself, Sauls.
Pretty much, just the Gunnar Sauls on Twitter, YouTube. That's pretty much it. Really simple as that. There's not a lot to plug away on there.
Brilliant. Don't worry. I'm gonna definitely add you up and troll you for the rest of the season and bring some luck. Because my season's a write-off, so I need to find some sort of happiness somehow.
I just hope we can continue this success then, innit?
No, you can, please.
Yeah.
Oh,
no.
We got you on the 3rd, don't we? That Thursday game, 8:15.
Yeah.
Oh, I can't wait.
It's coming. Ben, let them know where they can find you, please.
Yeah, so Twitter, SMX, LFC, and YouTube is Rambling Reds. I have 75 subscribers, so yeah, I need more.
Oh no, we'll get them up.
Wicked. Yeah.
Somehow.
Liverpool fans, please go and follow my man here. He's doing great things, and go and subscribe to his channel. I'm gonna sort out the description for tomorrow, and I'll put your YouTube channel in there as well, my man.
Bro,
okay?
Thank you.
No worries. Thank you very much for coming on. It's been a pleasure having you on. Vic, pleasure having you on as well. Please let everybody know where they can find you as well, please.
Not me anyway, because I don't have a channel because I work too much. I've got 2 businesses to run. So I'll
wicked. Well, shout out yourself for running 2 businesses. That ain't easy.
Vic, what's your Twitter? Shout out Vic. Shout out your Twitter, Vic. Shout out your Twitter for the audio listeners.
My handle, Miss VJFXX.
Wicked. No, that's good. Good to know.
And if anyone needs Botox, especially your Man United fans,
why are you saying you Man United fans? What? Because they're stressed. Their lines on their forehead.
Yeah, I know who my manager is. Who owns it?
That's funny.
I mean, Ollie might be coming. Who knows?
Pat, go on.
Yeah. So I mean, I'm Patrick Tyrant. Everyone should know me already. He says Patrick, then Tyrant.
Oh, really? We should all know you.
So yeah, you can catch me on here. Obviously, this is my show every week, Sunday 8:30 p.m. onwards. Then I'm on the Football Terrace top six show.
With me.
Yeah, Football Terrace top six show every Tuesday and Thursdays. I'm on Coys.com podcast every Monday, and then I also do Friday Night on the Terrace every now and again.
Have you got enough going on, babe?
That's on a Friday. So yeah, quite busy, but I'm having fun.
Wicked, man like Pat. And I'm Semps, people. I'm your host. Everyone's a pundit every Sunday, as Pat said, 8:30 p.m. Like, comment, share, and subscribe. It's been brilliant having you on. This is Everyone's a Pundit, and these were my pundits. Until next week, people, we are out. God bless and have a great week.